It's title pie. Now, as you know, we usually have a full pie. You know what? We actually need one of those kitchen cams, Rick. But I've taken out a slice. Do you see that slice, Wright?
Yeah.
Because you remember when James Worthy's always smoking on a cigar every time the Lakers beat a team? Well, the Lakers had a big, huge slice. And I said, why do the Lakers have such a big slice?
You're eating the Lakers slice?
Well.
That's what's happening? We haven't done title pie in a month because we've been off the air on Fridays. There's the NFL draft. Also, Brew.
Why is the breakdancing music?
It's not the breakdancing music.
This is pie eating music.
This is the pie eating music. Also, Brew, while you have sources in my committee, I have sources inside where you eat lunch. I heard you already had a chocolate shake today, so I don't know if you need any more slice of the pie. So
It was a healthy cacao, avocado.
Okay, it was cocoa.
Yeah, it tasted like chocolate. That's what made it great.
All right, title pie
stuff.
If we are approaching round 2 of the playoffs and you're still alive, you get a slice.
Yeah.
There are no teams that are 0%ers that are still alive in the playoffs. I think that's only fair. There are a couple 1%ers, though, including this team whose season ends tonight, the Los Angeles Clippers.
Bro.
Well, the injuries.
Bro, no, not the injuries.
Hold on, I stated clearly, without Kawhi, they can't beat Dallas.
You did not state that clearly.
I'm right.
You picked him when he was out going into Game 5. You said they were 2-0 without him. Why would they need him now? You stuck by him. You don't get any of that. Check the tape. Wild is eating and still agrees with me. Clippers get 1%. Orlando also gets 1%. I feel badly for Orlando that it's this small. However, I think that Game 5, bright future, but the Game 5 was the swing game. I don't think they're going to be able to win the next 2. So Cleveland, I think Orlando actually, yeah, I do think it goes 7. Cleveland gets 2% because I do think they're going to win the series, but I think that either of those teams was going to get beaten soundly by Boston. I at least think Orlando could have been a pain in the butt for Boston because of their defense, but it doesn't matter. 3% Indiana. So I don't actually think, here's what is so disconcerting for the Bucks, and we'll talk more about them next week, that I don't think the Pacers played great in this series.
They didn't.
And the fact that they won it despite that and won it the way they did and ran away with it yesterday is really troubling. Indiana's at 3%. Now, there are 6 teams remaining. I think all 6 of these teams are legitimate championship contenders. Wow. I put OKC at 8%. And again, that might feel unfair. They were the number 1 seed in the West. They earned that in the tougher conference. They swept round 1 with somewhat ease. I know a couple of the games were close. I just don't think that team is at that age going to win 4 consecutive rounds. And I also think that in the next round, they're going to be playing a red-hot Dallas Mavericks team, but I give them 8%. Now, different shade of orange. I think it'll be orange on the pie. Oh, no, it's blue. That's fine, too. Yeah. The New York Knicks. Far and away their biggest slice yet. I think the Knicks, they fought for that 2 seed. They didn't duck anybody, and now it pays dividends. They got through the tough first-round matchup with Philly. Now they get what will be an electric, right now I checked today, $600 get-in price for Game 1 of round 2 against the Pacers. Anybody that thought, oh, maybe tickets will go down because it's not Philly, nope, it's just going to keep going up. The Knicks believe right now. Josh Hart's hitting game-winning threes. Tibbs has 7 guys he trusts, and he's going to play them until they pass out, and they're a son of a gun for anybody to deal with. Tick above them, Minnesota Timberwolves, the number 1 defense in all of basketball, a budding super-duper star in Anthony Edwards, and maybe, just maybe, some of the trouble for Rudy Gobert historically in the postseason has been solved by the other players around him and the fact that he has another big alongside him in Karl Anthony Towns. I can't dismiss that as a possibility. Brew thinks the Timberwolves are going to beat the Nuggets, in which case they are going to have a massive slice of the pie. Speaking of the Nuggets, they are next at 17%. Hey, Wilds, you'll have your moment.
I just said that. You got to eat a whole diatribe on the Clippers.
Yeah, you know what? Fair point. I think it is just a very difficult path. I think that loss to San Antonio is already rearing its head, where they had to fight against the Lakers, and now they get. Well, they did. They had to fight against the Lakers. They come out of that Lakers series not fully whole, as Bruce said. Guys got banged up, and now they have to play the best defense in basketball by a mile. And I don't think they have someone to guard Anthony Edwards. While you can put Aaron Gordon on LeBron James because of the size stuff, Anthony Edwards too fast. So I don't know what they're going to do with Anthony Edwards, and I think that the Timberwolves are uniquely positioned to guard Denver, so they stay at 17%. A tick above them, the Dallas Mavericks, who, despite Luka Doncic not playing well in this series until Game 5, are positioned to move on to round 2 tonight, to go into Western Conference semifinals where they will absolutely feel like, right or wrong, it's wrong, that they have the 2 best players on the court in Luka and Kyrie. I know that's not fair to Shea, but I'm sure that's how they'll feel. And everyone on that team knows their exact role. And then the biggest slice is a team that I don't think is the best team, but has the clearest path by a mile. They are the only team left that I am certain is going to be in the conference finals, and that gets you at least 25% of the pie to begin with, the Boston Celtics. So that, Brew, is the latest edition of Title Pie.
No, that's a good pie. I got to be honest, I had trouble finding a lot of fault with it, so this was well done. And I get the Celtics situation with the easier path. It's interesting with them because I think Denver definitely would beat Boston. If Minnesota gets there or Dallas gets there, I think it's really interesting. But I'm going to switch Minnesota and Dallas.
Okay.
I'm picking Minnesota to beat the Nuggets. I like Dallas a lot. You know, should they survive the Clippers, who still got a tad bit of life. Tad bit. James Harden, you know, who knows with him?
We know.
Maybe one game left. But yeah, I think, as you said, Nick, what's that phrase you say, that statement you make, that you made up?
I say several.
Defense wins
championship.
Like Nick said, best defense in the league by far, and a good offense, because obviously you got Edwards, who's great, can have an up and a bad game here or there, or low scoring, but you got Cat. I like my second option. I know Cat, you know, it's fashionable to hate on Cat. It's well, he's got to stay out of foul trouble. But you know what? Nas Reed. Yes, Nas Reed is a nice.
We haven't mentioned it. Are you worried at all about whether or not Chris Finch is going to be able to be on the bench?
It's interesting. They saying, yeah, it could be in the suite, could be behind the bench. He was at practice, but on crutches. You definitely don't want. There's no way he's going to be standing on the sideline in crutches for period. Yeah, because he could get hit again. So it's a little something, you know.
Yeah, I think it is something.
He'll be able to give his input. And Micah Nori, who's, you know, longtime assistant, so.
It is a weird thing, and I don't even know how you factor it in. But, like, especially in the NBA when so much of it is, you know, momentary, like call timeout, you go, like the feel of it.
It sounds strange, but you could be on the bench with, like,
protectors?
Almost like, like
I would want to have him. I would want to have him on the bench.
Like
I mean,
like in the second row.
I'd rather second row would be fine as long as Pat Bev's not on the bench. You're going to be safe. It's fine.
I'm going to say the Thunder deserve a larger slice. I know we all kind of feel like the Thunder deserve a larger slice. And Brew, I know what you're going to say. They haven't played together long enough. They're too young. Okay. Can I trade out being young for a lot of chemistry? They played 67 games together this year. It's the most in the NBA, and everybody played well, obviously. Also, just vibe factor. You know I'm the king of the vibe factor. When they start going to each other's high schools for retirement ceremonies and all that, I like that. Is SGA and Chet's commercial very good? No, but I see it a lot, and they do seem to like each other. Chet tries to make SGA the MVP. They you know, try to do the interviews with the local reporter. I think the vibes are off the chart. They feel like a real team, chemistry-wise, even though they are, you know, biologically young.
They feel like a high school team, right? Yeah. The way they get along?
Yeah.
And the age, too.
Yeah, it's like Villanova. It's like the Villanova Knicks. All right, and then, remember when I coined the phrase defense wins championship? Yeah. And I know the Wolves are number 1. Thunder's number 4, pretty good. Yeah. The Pelicans had no Zion, but I don't think they ever got to 95 points in the whole series. So Chet will be out there doing his volleyball blocks. He'll play well. And then finally, who are they going to play? Maybe Bruce Clippers sneak through 2-1 against the Clippers, 3-1 against the Mavs. So I just think that I think they're going to win the championship? No, but I think they deserve, for being the number 1 seed, bigger slice of the pie.
I think that, and again, Celtics fans maybe get mad at me. I think they could win the East. I do.
The West?
No.
Oh, the East.
I'm saying I think that the Thunder, if they were there, could win the East. I just think that the the two best teams remaining, in my opinion, the two scariest teams remaining are the Mavs and the Nuggets. And the Timberwolves have just been such a dominant defense, and I don't know what Edwards' ceiling is. And the fact that you're going to have to beat two of those three just to get to the finals puts a ceiling on them. But I like the Thunder, and I do think, we were talking about Club Superstar earlier, it's almost a foregone conclusion that SGA's in there.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, his ascension this year is well-deserved. And the fact that team, man, has built this and still has all those assets.
Man,
you know what I mean? They have so much flexibility moving forward. So it's really bright times. I just don't think
their size, that lack of size is a concern for me. I mean, you look at Minnesota, you look at Denver, these are big teams. So and Dallas is playing great defense lately too.
Chet's tall.
He is tall, but he's rail thin.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.